Yeah, thank you very much for the previous panel. That was amazing. I think we're lowering significantly the age average here. And it will be really interesting to see. I think we have a big panel here. And a lot of you are actually out there with the students. So we're going to bring a completely different perspective now. I would like to first ask you to introduce yourselves, just so that everybody knows what you're doing. And then, so if you can start.
Now? It's working? Yes. Okay. First of all, thanks for the invite for Professor Antonio. Hello, Luis. Nice to meet you again. Quickly, I'm from Madden Park. That is the science park from this faculty, from this university. I manage the incubator that supports some companies to go to the market, and also some students before they are a company. So I think very quick is that quick presentation, and we talk more.
Hello, I'm Ines. I'm one of the founders.
Excuse me, sorry, can you repeat? The microphone is off. Can you turn it on, please?
Hello. Hello, my name is Ines. I'm one of the founders of Startup Pirates. That is a one-week pre-acceleration program for early-stage entrepreneurs.
Hey, I'm Max from What Adventure. That's a young company out of Austria, and what we do is we have an innovation software that is applied by universities as well as corporate innovation teams.
Hello, my name is Isabel. I am a finalist student at Industrial Engineering Masters here, and I'm also co-founder and vice president of Industrial Engineering's union students here. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan, as well. I'm co-founder of BET, which means Bring Entrepreneurs Together. We are an organization that tries to help entrepreneurs that don't have all the assets in place to start a business. So basically bringing projects into reality. And we can work in many different perspectives. Then maybe I'll have the opportunity to explain. Thank you.
So actually my first question, I would like to use you as a barometer and see, you know, there's all this push of entrepreneurship through teachers and so on. How do you feel things are changing, if you feel that things are changing actually in terms of students more interested in entrepreneurship? What do you feel that is happening if you look back at the last 5 years?
Yeah. I think, I remember when we started Startup Pirates and we would go to the universities, and if you ask anyone, like a group of 50 people, how many of you want to be entrepreneurs? If we had one hand in the air, I would feel like, okay, that's already something. And now we are seeing much more people with that drive. They really want to become entrepreneurs. Of course, we are not seeing 50 hands in the air, but I think we are not supposed to. But we are seeing more and more people doing that. However, I also feel that sometimes students feel that maybe I should start a company because it's something that it seems everyone is doing, not because they really want to do it. So yeah, I think it's a mixture. You have to look and see, like, some of them will actually do it, others probably won't.
For me, it's a bit different because I assume entrepreneurship is not just about starting in university. What a lot of young people in our age now see is actually the kind of demands of the society change a lot. The demands on the job market change. It's not just about getting the final degree and then the world is open to you. That's sadly not how it works anymore. And when you are in a job later on, or when you kind of finalize your education, what you have is knowledge. But what the outside world is asking for is experience. So what I see in universities now is that more and more students are actually asking for experience. They find societies, start initiatives, and actively pursue a more holistic approach of getting education and getting experience at the same time.
I learned about entrepreneurship here in the university. I didn't know what it meant when I once came here, so this is a big change for me. And also, here I found that we have a lot of support from teachers and other entities outside of the university that work with the university. So I also understood that students are more aware of what entrepreneurship is, what they can do, how they can do it, and I see a big change since I got inside university and until now.
Actually, yeah, more formal things. Imagine classes, people talking about it. It's mainstream right now. Since you listen to it in Ed.VII, so already people listen about startups. Which is a comic program here, some funny program, a reality show here in Portugal. But I think real things, real stuff, it keeps exactly the same. Here in Portugal, we don't have so much people matching different kind of backgrounds. Imagine guys from management. I studied in Nova. I've never met anyone here from FCT before creating BET. So I think we are lagging a lot in that kind of things. Funding for startups at the beginning, imagine, I'm a student, I need cash to start something, or I need some co-founder who's tackling those problems, and I don't see any changes.
Well, I started a company 20 years ago when I stopped university, when I finished university, and that time nobody knows what is the word entrepreneur. It's like a strange word. We opened in the college in Coimbra like association for entrepreneurship. You have to explain what is entrepreneurship first. So it's a big change now, because now it's like a fashion word. It's good and it's bad. It's good because sometimes it's mixed like we are in crisis, so entrepreneurship is like escape sometimes, not a way that the students want to do, but like escape, because or you don't have a job, so you start a company. That's not probably sometimes a good solution. Or another that, okay, I want to start a company because everybody now starts a company, is like, it's nice to start a company. But the good aspect of being a fashion word, that is now easy to do initiatives about entrepreneurship. And so at the end of the day, we have more candidates to start this kind of companies. Even they don't start from the university, but most of them from the university. So I think at the end of the day, if we do a good job, it's good, and it's more easy to appear institutions like Pt.3 or Startup Pirates that probably 5 years ago or 10 years ago, it's more difficult to have support from the market and from the institutions. And also in the universities, that, you know, it's a difficult way to change mentalities. There's a turnover, and now also universities want to do entrepreneurship programs, entrepreneurship studies. Like here in the university, we start 3 years ago, I think, in the 4th year, entrepreneurship program that is, all students have to do it, and is one of the results here, because the project start there, and probably before the classes is not possible to start the idea. So I think that's the change that we feel. That is probably a fashion word, but in the end of the day, there's good results of that.
So, starting where you finished, that it's a fashion word. Yesterday I was at a panel about failure, and one of the questions that came up was, what is in it, like, should I even, you know, I'm a good student, I could get out and get a good job. Should I even go into entrepreneurship? Am I then going to be hireable if this fails? You know, does anybody want to hire me after this? Do you feel this is a concern that students have?
I don't think they don't have for now, but they should have.
That would keep them away from trying out things?
I don't think for now it's not keep it away, because it's not talk about that. Most of the places don't talk about failures, but about success. So I think it's not for now a barrier to enter entrepreneurship, but probably I think also there's a turnover. I tell my story about 10 years when I went to Modern Park as his incubator. The manager, when hired me, asked me, I have 3 companies that close, and he asked me, okay, but if you close 3 companies, it's not good, you come to Modern Park, because probably it's not a good example. So as you know, other countries see as a good value, because, okay, you start and you finish, you know the problems, you know how to avoid that. some years ago it seemed like a failure. Probably now in the market, even in companies that not with entrepreneurship, it's add value. Okay, you start a company, but somehow it's not good. You close, you failure. But I think now it's an asset for someone.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that I was thinking about this story that like a week ago, I was at my university. I was talking with a group of students from the first grade. And they were asking me questions because they just joined university. They joined a junior enterprise that I'm president of the alumni association. And they were asking me questions about like, what should they do? And one of the things that I look at them and say, like, don't choose activities because you want to make your resume pretty. Choose activities that really are going to add value to you. And I think it's the same with this situation of actually creating a company. I think what our companies and the market needs to look for is actually knowledge, experience, not how beautiful it is your resume in terms of like, I spent 2 weeks in that organization, or I've spent like a year on that organization, and I might not know anything, but at least it's a good name to have there. So I think we need to, I think of course failure, it's bad, and it's bad here, and it's bad in Silicon Valley. I don't. If you go there, no one will tell you that failure is a good thing. They will tell you that failure is actually a bad thing. What they do is like they actually value the experience that a person gains from having that failure, and that's what I think our companies need to do. Big companies here in Portugal should look for people that actually experience good results and bad results and are able to deal with them. And of course, I understand that for someone that lives university now, it might be a challenge or an obstacle to actually start something because they are afraid to fail. But I think also big companies need people that are able to fail. Otherwise, it's going to be hard for them to innovate.
I think I couldn't agree less. I don't think that a large proportion of students has this concern. They are afraid that if they might fail with their business, what do? They don't have then work experience on paper, like it's portrayed in some manners, but at the end, I fully agree that the learning they made them very powerful on the job market. What I've seen is, I don't think I've ever met an entrepreneur or a person who started a company, even if they failed, who was unemployed. They are all people who find their way. They find an activity, they find a way to provide for themselves and create value in what they are doing. And I truly hope that more and more companies, even big corporations, will understand this value and not go for this like classic Schema F CV, done 3 internships, what have you done there? Yeah, carried some coffee. That is not something that is beneficial to the corporation and beneficial to the students. So I hope they accept this and understand this and actively look for people who actually try it out and put themselves out there.
Well, I think it is a concern in students. They feel afraid to fail and then to waste time trying to have a company or a startup, and then it fails. And they lost time, so now they're starting to go to the market and starting to search for jobs. So I think that companies understand the value that they got from that experience. And I also see, just because I got the second place, not me, but the team that I was with, we got the second place in our contest of entrepreneurship. And just to say this to a company in an interview, they give me a lot of value just for this, and I didn't create anything. I just won a second place in the contest. So companies value this effort and entrepreneurship in students. It's okay.
Thank you. Yeah, you asked people, students are afraid. I would say my mother, my grandmother are afraid of that. No, it's true. When imagine. Right now, I think there's lots of companies that look at your CV and look, oh, come on, you worked for Deloitte, or imagine BES or BES Investimento. When I left my university, it was top things. Right now, I don't think so. I think people, you imagine, even in a big corp, you were speaking about entrepreneurship. Come on. You have to sell your projects internally to your boss, to your administrator. You've got to get budget for your own things. So Entrepreneurial skills are great, of course. There's people without safety net that spend all your life or the past lots of time asking money from your parents, and you want to start earning money. Starting a company is not the best thing, or you have a safety net, or you are risking. So you've got many incentives or things that will make you start or not. But in what concerns to skills, there's nothing better than starting something, even if it is inside a company or something like that.
While you are at it, just stay with it. So everybody here is more or less involved in managing communities. So this panel is like, we have a lot of people on stage in very little time. So I'm going to go probably to what will be our final question, which is, what do you think would be the key ingredients for strengthening this community of entrepreneurs and entrepreneurialism at universities?
Yeah, I think we are like, we are not the best guys managing communities, because we find ourselves as service providers for free, trying to disrupt the market on that. We work in a mindset part. We've got a formula, which is 4 M's plus S. It's mindset, matching, mentoring, money, and social entrepreneurship. So mindset, what we do big conference like imagine TEDs or something like that, but for free to join students with real entrepreneurs and match them, then matching. We try to, guys here from FCT going to Nova, to IAD, meeting guys from design, meeting guys from everywhere. Our events, we've got 22 backgrounds represented, at least. We had one with 30 backgrounds, people from completely different areas, countries, etc. So our objective is doing that all the time. Imagine, we've got something which is BET together, bet-together.pt, which is a website like a rent-a-car thing. I need a developer, I need a designer to start something, let's go there. And you send a job offer, a co-founding offer, something offer, and we try to match you all the time. Mentoring and Money is presenting you to business angels, helping you on a strategic part. We've got a team dedicated to that with the help of teachers and the investors that help us in our community. And social entrepreneurship is people without money, helping them starting a business. We are not so good picking the people together. Yesterday at the conference about failure, there was a guy from Wadza speaking, I was at an event, I started this company there. That event was BET 24 hours he was speaking about. So we don't quite retain those people. We try to give them good services that I think are tackled right now at the entrepreneurship ecosystem here in Portugal, and then maybe pass it to lots of people also passed in Startup Pirates, in Beta High, in Startup Lisboa. Basically, I think it's we just try to be a service inside the ecosystem, not a community manager.
Well, I just agree with your point with João. I think that when you show companies and people that are entrepreneurs to young students, you create some kind of you are inspiring them, and then when you join students from different fields of studies here in this university in one course like we have, you have a lot of ideas coming out, and then it's just cross-functional groups that have great ideas. Then you encourage them, and you have this is a good ecosystem for them. It's a good environment to have good ideas and to inspire them.
I think when it comes to university ecosystem and the power they can have or should have, it's very much connected to how they actually implement it in the curriculum. Are they just this kind of side society, cool event thing happening on the university, or is it actually something that is part of what you learn? And maybe it's not fully integrated in your daily studies, but at the end, there should be always connecting points where you can, okay, now I identified this project within my course, I want to take it further. So, though there should be clear connection paths between the ecosystem, the outside world, and the coursework that is happening.
I feel that communities are very, very important in my point of view, because they have a multiplier effect. And I feel that for universities, I'm not sure exactly which is the best model. I've seen universities that are very good at introducing entrepreneurship in the curriculum, and I've seen universities that are horrible at doing that. And the reason that they are horrible is because they think they should teach the theory of entrepreneurship instead of actually teaching or providing a hands-on approach to entrepreneurship. But I also have seen, and especially a case that I have been has been very close to me is the University of Porto, where they have entrepreneurship classes that each school decides what to do, but the university itself decided that they wanted to help promote entrepreneurship by helping the organizations that were in place promoting entrepreneurship. So Startup Pirates inside the university joke that we are a spin-off of the University of Porto, and the reason is because when we started, they were the first ones to give us a hand and help us develop what we were doing. And they did the same with other organizations like Startup Buzz and the Entrepreneurship Club, and their idea was like, let's help by giving money, by giving support, by providing mentorship, by providing access to contacts, media, and so on. Let's help these organizations that are much closer to the students that we are, and help them do the best job that they can. And through that, they actually create this community of organizations that, whenever they need, they are very easily activate and get involved in events in different organizations. So I feel that for any university, I think they should build a community, and they should promote and help the different organizations that are promoting entrepreneurship inside the university. And of course, I think all those organizations need to be professional. All those organizations need to have add value to the community and what they are doing. But I think the university itself doesn't need to replace organizations that are already doing the work. They just need to support them. And I've seen this work before in different universities, and I think it should be the model to follow.
Yes, I agree. I just have a layer probably that is the role of the universities, of the institutions that are near to the universities, like most of us, is to provide more tools for the community. Not about managing or creating a community, but more like offer more tools that can be a stronger community. So if you want to choose the way of entrepreneur, you have more choices or more options to help you to start that way. So it's important the community, but it's important also have real tools that the community can use.
Cool. I think we still have a bit of time. This talk about building entrepreneurship community in the university, I think Inés was just saying something that I think is key, which is like, it's a collaborative, right? It's not a community inside the university, and it's really a collaborative effort. And I wonder, and I would like to hear your opinion on that, how prepared do you feel that universities are to step outside and to, shake hands and create these collaborations?
Between universities?
Not necessarily, with all the different players in the ecosystem.
Well, I think, as I said before, university is like it's a heavy mentality to change. So I think will be a step by step that they are doing that. But as I said, 10 years ago, it's more difficult than now. Now universities understand that they have to do something, and so probably most of times they search for who already do something in the market, something outside, to help universities to start doing or starting offer some skills to that students. So I think it's not yet a reality, but it's probably a near reality.
Okay, let me just add one thing to that. How can we increase the speed? What do you think is how could we just speed it up a little?
Well, I think the only way is with success cases. When you have some universities that do a good job, have good results, the others will understand that they need more quick to they have the same results, because but even that, for the normal status of the university, I think we do a lot of quick steps now, especially cases like Porto, Coimbra with VPN, also here in Lisbon with the 2 universities. I think, well, we do quick steps for now.
I think the first step to solve a problem is we need to acknowledge there is one, and there is a problem that I don't think that most universities are actually able to really do a good job in terms of promoting entrepreneurship, and what they need to do is acknowledge that they can do it, and then open up to other organizations outside that are able to provide a lot of added value. I remember that I was talking with the university before, and they said like, we need to hire people for a workshop, but they need to have 10 years of business model experience. And I was like, but business model Canvas is not around for the past 10 years, it's much recent. And that's the thing that they are looking for. I remember having problems because I'm 26 years old and I don't have white hair or gray hair yet, and they're like, but we need more experienced people. But at this point in this industry, the most experienced people in terms of business model Canvas are usually people that are 26, 30, 35 years old. The most experienced people in terms of creating companies, tech companies, I'm not saying big corporations, are people that have 26, 30, 35 years old. And I think we need to acknowledge that, and we need to understand that these are the people that we need to attract. And also I believe that universities need to understand that they are part of a bigger ecosystem. They are part of an ecosystem that not only have universities, they have incubators that can be part of university and also can be part of can be from the local government, can be private incubators, wherever. They are also part of an ecosystem that has different events, different initiatives, meetups, you name it. And we all need to get along. I really like when I see someone important in a university, in an event outside university, because he wants to network or to connect with the local ecosystem. That's something that unfortunately doesn't happen as often as it should, but I think it's happening more and more, and we need more of that, because we can all learn from each other. I learn a lot from being here at the university or connecting with universities, but I believe that a lot of universities will learn a lot from by being in a more grassroots movement or more in organizations that don't have the infrastructure, but they have the speed, they have the international connections, and they can add a lot of value for that. So that's what I feel.
When it comes to if they are able or already ready to do so, I think that was mentioned before, leadership within universities. I think some people, some key players within every university do that already and try to foster into this direction. But the system as a whole, the way it is structured since like, I don't know how many 100 years, education hasn't really been changed that much, is not ready for this. And what I would propose as a step in order to increase the speed is actually include the students. Like those people sitting here in the rows, they have the urge to do so. They are willing to participate and bring speed in. And try to include them and see what happens. I'm pretty sure they will be the ones building all the things that are necessary, because they use them themselves.
To speed up, I don't really know what you can do, but again, just searching for help in associations and institutions that are providing this service of helping students bringing their ideas real. I think that speeds up just a little bit. And also these kind of courses that we have here, also they teach us in a very little amount of time what we can do. They give us tools that are more recent, and they teach us how can we search for help to be efficient and to have this idea out and to make it real. They really help us in this situation. So this just speeds up the process.
I think all universities I met and I worked with, entrepreneurship is like, let's end with poverty. Everybody likes that idea. It's something beautiful. But when we arrive to real changes, imagine, sometimes it's real simple things. You want to do an event on a Sunday, and the university, no, it's impossible. On a Sunday, we don't have those people, we have to pay more to the security guy, well, no. When you enter those things that are really structural, I think sometimes it's difficult. But what I see, and the way I can interpret that, it's the guys that want to change must find solutions. I see the things more happening students to students, or young people to young people. I don't expect that university can do everything for you. So imagine, you want money, university can't give you because we are in the middle of a huge crisis. Okay, let's find sponsors so a sponsor in a private company. And that's the way we have usually dealt with it. I think because when universities can help inside their budgets, inside their normal activities, they are always willing to help. I never saw any problem connected with that. But the extra step, I think the people that want to do it, they must overcome it and try to do it.
Okay. I think now we would have some time for questions from the public. So, any question?
I have a question.
I'm stuck here, sorry.
Let's start off. I would like you all to brainstorm that practically what student unions and student bodies and student associations, what are the practical steps they can do to change the mindset? Can it be, for instance, activities? Can it be parties around entrepreneurship? What, in your opinion, is the one single thing that can have the biggest impact?
Maybe I can try to add something. The first event we did were in Católica, Lisbon. Sorry. Católica, Lisbon. 1 week, 1 month before, we're there, Horta Osório, like a big Portuguese banker. Everybody were there, and Horta Osório was offering a trip to London to see Lloyd's Bank. And it was completely full, the auditorium. We said, no, we're going to do an event with more people talking about entrepreneurship. You're crazy. Come on, we found a sponsor, we had a trip to Silicon Valley, went to Google, Facebook, and we had 2 auditoriums. We were streaming that, and it was much better. At the time, we brought guys, imagine, from Ed.3, it was really the hype at that time, 5 years ago. So, I think those kind of things. Then, the problem is doing a big event, it's easy. What I think that really changed things, it's day by day, providing current and constant services. And that's the thing I think really creates the difference. But cool things are also important. We went there with uni places when they just had a piece of paper saying, yeah, we want to rent houses for students. So it was a very cool trip at that time.
Well, actually, I wanted to say something about our course again, because I was in that course, and I feel that there's something that needs to be improved. And for example, I noticed that we have different shifts, I don't know if this is the correct word, of students, and each student applies for the shift that they prefer. But what happens is that, well, you have all the students in this university with all the courses, different areas, and you want to mix those areas. You want to have a group of students working in ideas that is with a lot of knowledge in different areas. So you don't want a group of 5 students all of the same course. You want them, you know, one of computer science, another from chemistry, another from electronics, and this creates very good ideas. So what happens is students apply for their shifts, and then they apply for the ones that their friends are in, and so you have shifts with the same courses. And then when you go to those classes, you pick randomly people, 5 students, and you create groups of 5. But those groups are not diverse because the main shift is not diverse. So what I would recommend is to create diverse shifts and then diverse teams so that you have more, better ideas. I think this is a very big...
So even taking it like beyond this course, in general,
Yes.
mingling of students so that students get to know each other would be probably...
These type of workshops that you are already doing, they're very good, I guess. And those courses, again, we have the system, the ecosystems that you are actually giving the lecture. I think those are very good ways to bring that to universities.
And I would even go further. It's not just beyond different classes, it's also including different universities. For example, what happened 6-7 years ago in Vienna, that was actually our founder. He did his doctorate degree at the business university, and they set up a course that was connected to the science university, the technical university, and the political science university. And all the students came together, had the same course, and they even got credits for it. It was in the curriculum, it was part of their education, and it was a very powerful thing because those people could connect with different perspectives, different expertise, and actually build something. What I see nowadays a lot of times, and when I meet somebody from the technical university, I have this idea, I can build it, but no one wants it, I don't know how to sell it. And it's like 2 streets away, you have the next university where they find the right people who lack the person who can build what they imagine. And it's just about to establish these connections and make people work together in a better way.
I actually think that I think we should stop looking for a silver bullet. We are always looking for the one thing that will make all the difference. But if I learn something along the way, it's like there is no one thing that will make the whole difference. I think what we are building is a community, we are building ecosystems, and small things are part of the bigger picture. And it can be one weekend event, 24 hours, where people from different universities come together. It can be a workshop around patents because there is a good university there doing a lot of research. It can be a students' party where everyone goes party because for some reason. It can be anything. I think entrepreneurship is about connections, and we say like, you shouldn't start the business with your friends, but we all start businesses with our friends. That's how usually things are. If you look at Facebook, Google, Microsoft, people start business with their friends. And it's good that we have a diverse group of friends. So instead of having only friends from our business school, we should have friends from business school, design, and engineering. That will help us create good companies. So I think that, and there's this other thing. I remember once I read something that they were asking, I think it's the dean of the MIT, why the MIT was so successful in creating companies. And his answer was, because we have a common cafeteria. So everyone has lunch and dinner in the same place. And I think that's actually interesting because people, when they are having lunch and dinner together, that's how they create friendships. That's where they share their ideas, and then that's how ideas come to alive. I usually don't think that we should force people to connect just because I need an engineer and I need a designer. I think this is something that our relationships that we build along the way that someday will be helpful for us.
Yes, I will pick some ideas that talk here. First of all, thanks for the tip about the class. But there's a good example of a thing that I tried about the quick of the university changes. Me and Professor Grillo are lecturers of this class, and we invent things to mix students. But even though you see that they choose the classes, so even we have 2 activities in the beginning, they think they will be with the colleague, but they have to change to the other part of the room, even that the classes are chosen before. So that's the thing that is difficult in university to change, because you cannot change the system of choose the classes. So probably you have to do this this year somehow. But there's a difficult between the legacy, the legal procedures of the university and can we do the things. And the other thing is about the obligation. That I think is not probably the correct way. 3 years ago, we do a contest with Almada City, that is the city from this region, to ideas from the tourism in the city. In the first year, the contest was in a class. It's the students have to do to that class. It's part of the note. So we have 200 ideas, something like that. Most of them are not even ideas, it's just to do the work. In the second year, it's not. They just choose if they apply for the contest. It's just 5 ideas. So, and that's a thing that is probably important. And when you ask the question, is probably, and I think already mentioned that one of the ways to increase the speed is not start from the university, but start with the students. So do more things with the students that they have more prepared when they go to these kind of classes on these kind of things that university do. They already have the mindset, okay, we go there and there will be because we want and it will be a nice thing to do, not because, okay, it's obligation, we choose all the same class so we can keep together. So probably it's the 2 ways. First is the university have the mindset to change, and then to increase that in the students somehow. And I think there are all good examples of doing that.
Thank you very much. I don't know if there's any more question. No? If we don't have any more questions, I'll just take Inez.